From the Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Dale and Scott.
Tried to find something that sounded kind of EDC-ish.
Oh, this is...
Did I do a good job?
Kind of right now, yeah.
So, the Electric Daisy Carnival, have you guys ever heard of it? It's one of the biggest global dance music festivals in the world, and it just happened here in Vegas this past weekend, and well into Monday, well into Tuesday morning, right?
I thought it ended like 6 a.m.
Yeah. Quite something. If you guys don't know, I mean, they predicted 500,000 attendees over the 3 days.
It's massive.
It is massive. We survived it because we didn't go. Would you ever go? I don't know.
No, I don't know if I would.
I mean, it's a lot of DJs. All of the top DJs were there. And they have some live groups there too, don't they? Or is it mostly just DJs and dance music?
I think,
yeah. But they have pyrotechnics, they have smoke, they have fire, they have fireworks, they have glow-in-the-dark sticks.
They have carnival rides.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Electric Daisy Carnival. So, anyway, it was sold out. The host hotel was Resorts World, which you guys know is one of our favorite places. I was talking to some of the employees there the middle of last week as they were gearing up for all these. I guess it was Friday that we went, when people started to arrive. They didn't expect these people to be drinking or gambling, but they were taking up all of their rooms.
Yeah.
And they did order extra bottled water.
I'm sure.
I'm not saying these people do a lot of drugs, but I think that's what they do. You know, allegedly.
Generalizing.
Am I? But isn't it true?
It probably, there were some that indulged.
Yeah. Or at certain times when people are trying to get from the strip hotels out there to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway where this thing is held every year. Reportedly, it took sometimes 3 hours to get there by car.
Yeah.
It's like 10 miles. And if you had the money, though, you could get there on a helicopter. Helicopter rides were $7,500 per person.
Ay, ay, ay.
And apparently people were doing it. Did you have to go to the airport to get on the helicopter? I think so.
Well, yeah.
Our friends Kelsey and Jesse did that last year. They took a helicopter out there.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty damn cool.
Got a menu here from one of the bars. I think this is one of the VIP areas because these prices are insanity.
Yeah.
You were telling me about the beer. What was the beer cost?
It was 6 Bud Lights for $140.
For a 6-pack.
I told you I wasn't lying. You didn't believe me.
It's ridiculous. They have Dom Perignon, $16,500.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's something on here. There's a $42,000 bottle of
Dom
Perignon Brut. Who the hell has that kind of money?
I think people that go to this have money. There's always people that have money.
One bottle of Grey Goose, $975. One bottle of Bacardi, $875. A bottle of Jack Daniels, $875. Johnny Walker Blue Label, $22.95. Not $22.95, $2,295. It's ridiculous. Smart Water, 6-pack of Smart Water, $90.
Maybe we should go set up a little liquor store stand right outside
and charge half the price
of the track and charge half. Although I assume you can't bring it in.
No. I can't even imagine what the EDC charges people to go be a vendor there.
I don't even know what it costs to get in there.
I don't think people are drinking these drinks. I mean, the prices are just ridiculous. There had to be cheaper shit out there, right? I wanted to tell everyone to stop the presses. Apparently I'm a football fan now. The NFL schedule came out last week for the 2024 schedule. And I literally sat down with my computer and my online calendar, and I made sure that all of the Raiders games were on our calendar.
You did all that work, and I'm almost sure there's an iCal you can download.
Probably, but I had fun doing it. I specified whether they were home games or away games. Unfortunately, we're going to be out of town for the home game against the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning champs.
It makes a difference when you've actually gone a few times.
Yeah. And I don't know that I love football necessarily, the actual game, or I just love the pageantry of it all. Because going to a game is fun.
Yeah.
And we actually did watch a couple games on TV this year. What are you going to do?
I like it.
I like it too. Breaking news, it just came out before we sat down to tape. Peloton, you know them, they're what do they have? They have mostly bikes, right? Stationary bikes. And
I think that's all they have, right?
yeah, but it's all about...
And treadmills.
Yeah, treadmills too. And you there's a TV, and you watch the TV, and there's all these videos that I think some of them are live, right?
Yeah,
and you actually do it together with people
Right.
all over the country. These different workouts, and they use popular music. Well, Peloton announced this week that they will not be using any more Diddy songs.
Oh.
After the viral video rocked the nation this past week, where Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever his name is, was seen beating, dragging, and throwing things at his ex-girlfriend in a 2016 hotel surveillance video. Now, many speculate that he paid off the hotel back in 2016 to keep it under wraps.
Well,
but
something has happened, because how all of a sudden it's just now showing.
someone decided, I'm going to leak this bullshit. They wanted to get him. Well, he's already in FBI raided 2 of his houses.
Yeah.
He's up against all kinds of charges, and now this is thrown at him. Apparently, it was bad enough that his PR people made him make a video. So he made a video apologizing for it. He said it was a low time in my life, and I take full responsibility for my actions. Well, duh. And he also said he attended rehab after this incident. I bet that's not true. This is not the first time Peloton has cut music out of their programs. They also cut all of Kanye West's music back in 2022 after his much publicized rant against Jewish people. Yeah. So there's a scam alert. They're calling it a scam, but it's interesting. I saw this come across my feed a couple days ago. Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Riley, is fighting because these creditors are claiming that they are owed a lot of money, and they plan to auction off Graceland in Memphis. Riley is the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley, who died last year, and she is now the owner of Graceland in Memphis, which we've not been to, but we've been next door to.
We were across the street.
At the RV park.
Yeah.
We stopped there for a couple nights when it was snowing.
But next to the museum.
Yeah, we're on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
It was right across the street from where we were. Anyway, she was granted control of Graceland Mansion and the whole compound. It's 14 acres in total.
Oh, wow.
When her mother died. In this suit, she's trying to stop these creditors from actually going ahead with this auction because she claims that they have no right to do it. They're saying that her mother, the late Lisa Marie, took out a $3.8 million loan and she never paid it back. Ooh. They're saying this is fraudulent. She never took out a loan. She didn't need money. And they believe that the whole thing is just a big old scam. They somehow convinced the city of Memphis to hear them out and do this auction. So, I mean, it's obviously going to get stopped. It's going to get stopped.
You sure?
The compound is estimated to be worth between $400 and $500 million.
We're gonna make it a hotel. I
didn't know this. Elvis bought Graceland for $100,000 back in 1957, and he lived there for 20 years until he died in 1977.
Wow.
In the toilet. He was on the toilet when he died, apparently. Had a heart attack. 5 years after he died, the family opened it as a public history theme park, museum kind of thing. And today it attracts roughly 600,000 visitors a year.
Wow.
It's a lot of people.
They charge for that, though, right?
Yeah, it's not free. I bet it's expensive.
I would think so, too. So you just go in and see the house, and then across the street is like all of his things, right?
Yeah, it's 2 jets and clothes.
That's
and
why that building's so big, is because the planes are in there.
there's a movie. The planes are outside. We saw them.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we could see them from the RV park. But yeah, everything else. There's a movie. There's his clothes, his guitars, all that stuff. We should go sometime. Did you hear about Uber's big announcement?
I did hear this, but I didn't follow up and read up on it.
You will now learn about it. Uber announced Uber Shuttle is coming to the U.S., to major U.S. cities this coming summer. This will allow riders to book a spot on a high-capacity vehicle like vans and buses from airports, concerts, and sporting events. So these vehicles will be anywhere from 14 to 55 seats. You can reserve up to 5 seats per person, 7 days prior and up to 10 minutes before departure if seats are available.
So I feel like this is going to work like airport shuttle,
Yeah.
where everyone just gets on and then they just drive around and you could be first on the spot,
Or you could be last.
last to get home.
Yeah, like Super Shuttle.
Super shuttle, yeah.
Each city will operate differently depending on the needs of that particular city. So I think it would work great here in Vegas. After a football game to the hotels, it'll be great.
It could be cool if if they had, all right, let's just say they had dedicated Uber shuttles at the airport.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not on-demand request, right?
No,
You're
it's
just booking
scheduled.
a seat.
It's scheduled. So
Right. So they would probably say, I put in my address and maybe you live on the other side of town. There's like, okay, Dale, you get on bus 1 and Scott, you get on bus 2. Like it could work like that.
something like that. I think it'll be interesting to see how it works out. Apparently, Uber's been testing this in India and Egypt, and it's working in those 2 places.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know why they decided. I didn't know Uber was all over the world. I thought it was just our thing. But apparently it's all over the world. I got a spoiler alert. So if you haven't watched Young Sheldon's series finale last week,
Yeah.
and you don't want it to be ruined, it's already ruined anyway because they've been talking about it everywhere.
Everyone knew what was going to happen.
And we knew it was going to happen because it was bound to happen. It had to happen because they talked about it in The Big Bang Theory. But Sheldon Cooper's father, George, died in the 3rd to the last episode, and then the final 2 episodes that kind of show how they dealt with it. But I love this. Dale pointed this out to me. I didn't know about this until a couple days ago, and he showed me the pictures. So Lance Barber, the actor who played George Cooper in Young Sheldon, really wanted to be at the funeral. And they didn't want, obviously, he couldn't be shown
Right.
in the scenes because he's lying in the casket in the front of the church. So they dressed him up as a woman.
He was all like full drag.
Yeah. And he sat in the back. He was like 3rd row from the back or something. And it's pretty funny. It's really funny.
I just think it's pretty cool they did that.
Yeah.
So he was still like a part of it all the way up until the last
Yeah.
time.
We've got the pictures. I'll share it with you guys. I love him. He was in, oh, crap. What was that show with Lisa Kudrow that she did after Friends? The one that I love so much on HBO. Cannot think of it off the top of my head, but he no, not Veep. Anyway, The Comeback. The Comeback. He was in The Comeback. He played the writer on the series that she was on.
Well, you do know his reference, right, from The Big Bang Theory, right?
Well, I know that in The Big Bang Theory, it was mentioned many times that his father died of a heart attack when he was young.
Lance Barber, he was in The Big Bang Theory. Did you know that?
Was he a character in there?
He was.
Not playing
Sheldon's
father.
No. And do you know who he was? Because you actually might know the episode because I've watched it so many times. He played Leonard's bully in one episode.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well before they even knew that they were going to do a Young Sheldon.
Well before Young Sheldon was even an idea.
Well, the other story is that his wife on the show, who played Mary, her mother in real life was the actress that played
Laura
Mary, Laura Metcalf, from Roseanne and The Connors and so many great things. She played the character of Sheldon's mother, Mary, in Big Bang Theory. And then her daughter ended up playing Mary in Young Sheldon. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, because she probably would have been.
And they have the same voice.
She would have been too old, I guess.
She would have been too old
as a mother to young Sheldon.
Yeah, because Laurie Metcalf has got to be in her 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wouldn't work. And Mary, I can't think of her name offhand, but it'll come to me. But she's probably more like 30. So it worked out. Everybody and their mother knows that Tom Brady was roasted last week. I don't know why they roasted him. I guess because he's a great football player. Everybody came in, did jokes, and he didn't take it well. And of all the people that have gotten roasted over the years, this is the only person I know that came out afterwards and said, you know what? I wish I hadn't done it. It wasn't a good idea.
It was brutal.
It was brutal, but they're always brutal. Have you seen the one that they did Alec Baldwin? That was brutal.
Yeah.
There've been brutal ones over the years. And of course, they're more brutal now than they ever were. They started doing these back in the 50s. You know,
it's been around. The roast has been around for a long time,
forever, and some are better than others.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we're watching Hacks right now on HBO and Max, and they did a roast of the main character in Hacks just last week, wasn't it? Or 2 weeks ago.
Something like that.
It was pretty funny. But you got to have a thick skin. If you're going to agree to do a roast and they're going to have all the top comedians there, and they're going to skewer you.
Well, roasting comedians is funny.
Yeah.
And that usually goes pretty well.
But he's not a comedian and he's not an actor, right?
No.
So he said, I really feel bad. I regret doing it because of how it affected my kids. Well, maybe your kids shouldn't be watching it. How old are your kids?
They've got to be little, right?
Yeah. And of course, they're going to make fun of everything you've ever done. That's what they do.
Right. Especially the divorce stuff. That stuff was where they hit the hardest.
Well, for any dumbass who divorces Gisele Bundchen is a fucking idiot. She's one of the hottest women on earth. What? They couldn't get along? They couldn't make it work?
She had more money than him?
She had a lot of money. They both had a lot of money. Together, I don't think they needed to give money to each other. They both have a lot of freaking money.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, you know what? I think what happened was, remember when he famously retired?
Right.
From New England, and then
came back
about 6 months later, said, no, I'm going to do one more season. And she was like, fuck that shit. I thought you were done. So anyway, so that's supposedly what broke him.
What are you gonna do?
I find this very interesting, and I'm also very kind of excited about it. They have announced a sequel to the classic teenage horror movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it's in the works. They're going to film it this year, and it's going to come out next summer, July of 2025.
So this is a sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer and not a sequel to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer? Are they pretending that never happened?
That's my understanding, but maybe I don't know. Anyway, Jennifer Love, in the article I read, they never said anything about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. So maybe they're going to forget that one.
Oh.
Well, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are already on board, and I don't know about anybody else.
God, I haven't seen those two in a long time.
Well, Jennifer Love Hewitt is on television all the time, so I don't know how you don't see her. But, I mean, she's done everything, and she's like the queen of Hallmark and Lifetime movies.
Well, that's shit that you watch.
Yeah, and I don't know what Freddie Prinze Jr. has been doing, but I like him. I mean, he's married to Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, so gotta love him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now for something completely different.
It's the What the Fuck Files. We're doing it again this week because there's so many what the fucks to talk about. I didn't know this. Apparently, this is something that came out a while ago and I missed it. The reason it was in the news this week is because of someone who decided they didn't like the idea and quit. So what we're talking about is Kanye West. Yee.
Yay.
Yay. I always say it wrong.
I think it's yay because it's Kanye.
Kanye, yay. He has decided to start a porn company. And he says it's going to be called Yizzy Porn. And it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. So
well, your bullet number 2, I'm dumbfounded. I had no idea that this was a thing.
So, well, first of all, so the reason this came up to my attention is because last week it was reported that the controversial fucktard and ex-gay Milo Yiannopoulos,
It's Milo Yiannopoulos.
thank you, has stepped down as the chief of staff of Ye's company after 2 years. I didn't even know that Milo was working for Kanye.
I had no idea.
Apparently, Milo wasn't too keen on the porn plans, saying that he just can't be involved in producing, distributing pornographic material for moral and religious reasons, and because it can be an imminent danger of my life as a recovering addict and an unacceptable risk to my spiritual and physical health as a former homosexual.
Yeah.
He's so full of shit. He always has been.
Yes, he always has.
He's
been.
just a fucking blowhard who will say anything to get attention.
Get attention. That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, one crazy idiot running another crazy idiot's business, right? Which is tanking. I mean, everybody is pulling away from Kanye. Nobody wants to be involved with him, except for Stormy Daniels' ex, Mike Moz, who's agreed to produce this new Yeezy porn. It's ridiculous. Who's going to watch this shit? And who wants to work for him? I mean, the guy is nutso. Nutso.
Yeah. Well, he said that he's like supposed to be on medication but doesn't take it.
He said he's bipolar and he refuses to take the medicine. This is why I don't understand why Kim lets him have the kids on alternating weekends. I wouldn't let my kids anywhere near him. You know, and I love Kim to death, but I do not understand what she saw in this man. Yeah. I really, really, really don't.
Money.
No, she had all of her own money. She's almost a billionaire. She doesn't need his damn money. Ridiculous. Speaking of things that might offend people, the world seems hell-bent on adding trigger warnings to everything. So two big trigger warning stories came up since we last talked to you. You guys know Dame Judi Dench. Mm-hmm. She's been one of our great actresses of all time. She, of course, played M in the James Bond movies for several movies. Love her to death. She complained publicly a week ago or so about this new trend of putting trigger warning statements in playbills for stage productions. For the overly sensitive people amongst us. She said, I can see why they exist, and it is preparing people, I suppose. But if you're that sensitive, just don't go to the theater.
Right.
Because you could be very shocked in what you see. I mean, it goes on and on from there. But it's true. It's like, why do we need so many warnings on everything? It's just getting ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Don't you think?
I mean, it can be. Yes, this is ridiculous, I think. Yes.
Studios and film institutions have started slapping trigger warnings on classic movies like Disney movies and James Bond movies and Blazing Saddles, for God's sakes.
Well, the Disney movies, they've even started putting them on like older cartoons.
Yeah.
Remember back when the Disney, was it like A Small World? And they did, I can just picture it. It's a globe on TV and it goes around in circles, and when there's Chinese people, like they depict the Chinese doing Chinese things.
Yeah.
And you go to Africa, they have the black people doing what they think African would do.
Yeah.
And they put like warnings on that.
Right.
Saying, oh, this was a different time.
It was a different time. They're culturally insensitive. Usually these warnings are related to outdated representations of race and sex. Yes. I mean, that's what it's usually about. But now AMC, American Movie Classics, has added a warning to the beginning of Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, saying that the film includes language and cultural stereotypes that are inconsistent with today's standards of inclusion and tolerance and may offend some viewers. It's about fucking mafia people killing people. Right. That's what the movie's always been about. They're saying that, you know, they're inconsistent standards with what you're not allowed to show Italian mafia people anymore? Is that somehow offensive to someone?
Probably.
We know that all Italians aren't members of the mafia, but most members of the mafia are Italian.
You're not going to be able to do stereotypes anymore without being judged for it.
You know, we already have advance warnings for suicide, language, smoking, drinking, nudity. Now they have warnings for flashing lights because some people with epilepsy might have a.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
That's a thing now.
That's a real thing.
But where does it stop?
Well, you can't complain about the flashing lights.
Oh, I can. I can complain about all of it if I want to.
Sure.
It's my show. That's what I do.
Yeah, but that's kind of wrong.
But what's next? Warning. This episode shows a car exceeding the speed limit. Warning. A man gets turned down when he asks a girl for a date. Warning. People are seen eating trans fats.
Wouldn't you appreciate a warning for a movie or TV show that showed toes?
It depends on how the toes are used. You also know that I don't like seeing animals get hurt. I've walked out of the room when they start hurting animals, even though I know it's not real.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But I don't need the warning at the beginning. I can figure it out on my own.
I mean, you walked out of Avatar 2 when they killed an obviously fake whale that doesn't even exist. It didn't even look like a real whale.
I didn't like that. It was mean. It was just mean. I was not enjoying that movie anyway, so I think it was just my excuse to leave the room. Anyway. But the suicide thing, I get that suicide's very serious and that it's certainly up. The levels, the percentages are up with kids these days, but it seems like every damn show, at the end of the show, it has, if you're thinking about suicide, here's the 1-800 number you can call. I mean, every friggin' show has that at the end now. It's like, okay, got it. Oh, but you know, but movies and TV shows can show people getting shot and killed 80 times in 5 minutes, and they don't say anything about that. They don't say, "Oh, don't shoot your neighbor over something stupid." It's almost like it's worse to kill someone else than yourself. No, it's worse to kill yourself than someone else. I don't think that's true. I think it's worse to kill someone else. Don't you?
Yeah, it's very illegal.
Yeah, it's not illegal to kill yourself. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Not technically illegal. This is a dumb story, but it's dumb because this guy is stupid. It's called Neonopolis. It's kind of a mall with restaurants and stores and stuff, and it's downtown in downtown Vegas, like near the Fremont Street experience.
Yeah.
The owner of this development is proposing that he spend $300 million to put $300 million worth of attractions on the roof of his building, and he wants to call it Mini Disni. Not Disney, D-I-S-N-E-Y, but D-I-S-N-I. He claimed,
So stupid.
he claimed in his press that he's done and his press release that they're spelling it differently so he won't get sued. Well, guess what, buddy? You're going to get sued.
Yes, very much.
I mean, if he goes through the plans, no one believes that he actually has the money or that he will actually do what he plans to do. But
And if he does, it's no one's going to go. You want to go ride rides on top of a mall?
I'm not ever going to Mini Disney. I'll tell you that. Well, it'll never open with that name because Disney, the real Disney, will certainly slap him and say, no, you're not doing that. We don't care how you spell it. It's still pronounced the same. And then there'll have to be a warning on every door. You're not walking into Disney World, just to let you know.
Right.
Speaking of Disney, Disneyland's 1700 parade and photo characters, you know, the ones that walk around in the outfits.
Yeah.
Like Mickey Mouse and Gaston and Tigger. They voted to unionize. They're now going to be called Magic United, and they'll join the Actors Equity Association because they want more money, more hours, and reliable schedules. Now, granted, this must be a super sucky, really hot job that I don't know why anyone would do it for more than like a summer.
This seems like something kids should do during the summer.
Right.
Like college kids who need some money.
I mean, you know, I've talked about this on the show before. When people at McDonald's and Starbucks start unionizing, I just want to say, go get a real job, please. I mean, yeah, it's fine to work at Starbucks. It's fine to work at McDonald's. It's fine to work at Disney. But are you going to fucking work at Disney your whole life? I could see it if you were an executive. But you're really going to be a character in the park until you retire? Do you really think that you're going to make enough money being Mickey Mouse that you're going to get a pension?
Well, maybe they could move up. Maybe they could be the boss of all the characters.
That's fine. And management's not allowed to be in the union, so then they'd get out of it. That's fine. Anyway, I didn't know this, but most other Disneyland workers are unionized, and all the character performers at Walt Disney World in Florida have been part of the Teamsters for decades.
Wow.
I had no idea. I mean, I wonder what the average age of these people in the character costumes, how old are they?
They got to be young, right?
I would think, because who would want to do it when you're 40? Well, your mom would be so ashamed to tell her friends what you did. I mean, I get that Disney's cool, but if you're still Tigger when you're 45, you did something really wrong.
I'm not with you on this. You always have this.
I like to shit on people that do stupid jobs. Yeah, sorry.
I don't know why you're triggered by it so much.
I am trigger warning. Talk about trigger. I'm triggered by people that stay in stupid jobs their whole lives.
I just don't know why you care.
I don't care.
You do, obviously.
I care because I'm afraid it might happen to me. Now, this is going under the next story is the seriously what the fuck. I mean, I could not believe when I saw this on the morning news yesterday. Could not believe it. Mika and Joe were talking about this, and nobody in that studio could keep a straight face.
It's fucking ridiculous.
America's mayor. You know who that is? He's the 79-year-old guy who used to be mayor of New York. His name is Rudy Giuliani. Everybody knows him.
I mean, it's such a shame. This guy had it made.
He had it made, and he lost his fucking marbles.
Lost his mind.
Became a MAGA to the 85th degree, and then just kind of went bananas.
I mean, this guy could have been on morning news, on any cable channel you wanted to, anything you wanted, and he fucked it.
He had to file for bankruptcy. He has massive debt and growing lawsuits against him coming from every angle. But for $30, you can help him out. You can buy 2 pounds of Rudy coffee, the finest beans imaginable, in 3 different blends: bold, decaf, and morning. And there he is on the package. See the picture?
I see it.
Giuliani was recently suspended from his $15,000 a month radio gig at WABC because of his refusal to stop promoting the 2020 election conspiracy theories on his show, The Rudy Giuliani Show. So, I mean, he lost everything.
Yeah.
The show was one of Giuliani's last remaining sources of income, according to his lawyers, with the other being Social Security. It's kind of sad. So he had to turn to coffee. He's selling coffee. My parents will probably buy it. The former mayor filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last December, a week after a jury ordered him to pay a whopping $148 million in a civil judgment to 2 former Georgia election workers. I mean, these people were saying all these things about the Georgia election that just wasn't true and been debunked by everybody, left and right. So, but they won't shut up about it.
I know.
And if you talk to him today or tomorrow, he'll probably tell you the election was stolen.
Oh, God.
We have a lot of friends who believe the election was stolen. So I still love them. Bless their heart. But I don't know. I don't want either one of those fucktards to be the next president. I think it should be me. Trigger warning. I'm not giving you no trigger warnings when I become president. I'm not giving any of those damn speeches either. Every time something blows up or someone dies, I'm not giving a speech. I'll just put out a statement. I'll tweet about it like Trump does. I want to talk about something stupid.
Yeah.
Dale, do you know who Evel Knievel is?
I do, actually. I watched him on TV.
He's dead.
No shit.
Trigger warning. An Evel Knievel Museum is coming to downtown Las Vegas next year. But who under the age of 50 and Dale knows who this guy was. He was a motorcycle stunt guy.
He was very popular when I was a kid. Like he was on scheduled for TV and you sit and watch it. He would do crazy shit.
He jumped over the fountain at the Caesars here.
Yeah.
I think he jumped over the Grand Canyon once. You know, before David Copperfield made it disappear.
Right. No, it was a big deal as a kid.
The museum's already a thing. It's actually located in Topeka, Kansas, but it's moving from Topeka to Las Vegas.
Oh.
It'll be just as popular as the Bob Marley experience at Mandalay Bay.
Don't say that until that bitch opens.
These are both people that are dead that people, you'd have to be 50 or 60 to know who they were. You're going to go, are you telling me that you're going to spend $15 and go to the Evel Knievel Museum?
No.
Okay. But you liked watching it when it was on.
Yeah.
Apparently his son has taken over, and his son kind of does that shit now too. Did you know that?
You hear from it. What's his name?
Randy.
Kevin
Randy.
Evil.
I want to say Randy. Evil. Maybe. What's the opposite of evil? Little evil. Little evil. Less evil.
That's Evel Knievel.
Yeah. I want to say Randy, but that's not right. I'll look it up. One more thing. Did you hear that the Grandma McFlurry is a thing?
I heard about it today.
It just came out for the first time yesterday, I think, at McDonald's across the country. It's a limited time new McFlurry that features chopped, crunchy butterscotch candy pieces and butterscotch syrup blended with the vanilla soft serve.
You know, that sounds all fine and well.
Because Grandma always had butterscotch in her purse, remember?
Well, this is a horrible name. Just call it a fucking butterscotch McFlurry. Not the Grandma McFlurry, little pieces of Grandma cut up in it.
No, it was important to them. McDonald's said the Grandma McFlurry tastes like a trip down memory lane, and we're excited to give our fans that experience while honoring the Grandma figure in all of our lives.
Oh,
now,
that's all.
I think it's kind of not cool that they're not doing something for the grandpas. Or what about the non-binary older people in our lives?
Stop it.
It's kind of funny, though. No?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I went to McDonald's yesterday and I didn't get you one.
Well, I didn't know it was a thing until it was on the bag.
I didn't either. All right, that's all we got for you today. Don't forget to subscribe and follow the show and tell all your friends about it. Unless they're sensitive and soft and too fragile to listen to our show. Dale thinks there should be a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode, I think.
Right?
Bye.
Probably, there were some that indulged.
Yeah.